Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, Required Quadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of great millstone. Shalom to the mighty Akim, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity, as well as the speckled bird that may look like the other nations, but are actually Yasharallah. This is Brother Cub coming at you with another lesson. Today's lesson, I want to go into this. It's a bit of a read, but I was reading this and I thought, okay, you know what? This actually seems like a very good topic lesson to do, because I was just thinking about this stuff, and I had once made a comparison, a parallel or example one time when I was explaining something to someone. I forgot who or what it was. I genuinely forgot, but what happened was, well, yeah, let me read this first. Luke chapter 5 verse 1. And it came to pass that as the people pressed upon him to hear the word of Yahweh, he stood by the lake of Gennesaret and saw two ships standing by the lake, but the fishermen were gone out of them and were washing their nets. And he entered into one of the ships and saw, which was Simon's, and prayed him that he would thrust out a little from the land. And he sat down and taught the people out of the ship. Now, verse 4, Slakia. Now, when he had left speaking, he said unto Simon, launch out into the deep and let down the nets for a draught. Basically, the thing here is that Yahawashi was preaching unto the people, and then he saw Simon, all right, which would later become one of his disciples. He basically saw Simon, as a fisherman. He said, hey, can you go cast your net out again, all right? And basically what happened was, well, let's continue on. Verse 5. And Simon answering him said unto him, Master, we have toiled all the night and have taken none. Nevertheless, at thy word, I will let down the net. Basically, the thing here was Simon, he said that we have been doing all this for so long, we couldn't catch any fish. So it's just a waste of time for me to do it. But yeah, he said, regardless, I'm still going to do it because you asked. All right. And then basically he did it. Verse 6, and when they had done this, they enclosed a great multitude of fishes, and their net brake. And they beckoned unto their partners, which were in the other ship, that they should come and help them. And they came and filled both the ships, so that they began to sink. When Simon Peter saw it, he fell down at Yahawashi's knees, saying, Depart from me, for I am a sinful man, O Lord. So that's basically it. That's the main thing I want to get here is that it is an incredibly spiritual thing. That's a spirit that Simon, who didn't really know Yahawashi at the time, he just heard, Yahawashi told him, hey, go try to catch fish again. And then he said, there's no fish, like it's just a waste of time, but I'm still going to do it because you asked and whatnot. And then lo and behold, defying logic, defying his own understanding, he did it, and then his obedience bore fruit, regardless of the fact that it made sense or not. And the funny thing about that is, going to the parallel that I was talking about, the parallel that I had made was the fact that, like, say for example, because I remember one brother had basically, I'm not going to tell the whole thing, it's too long and I want to get off track, but basically what happened was there was this one brother who did a lesson, did a video and uploaded, basically saying how he was quote unquote taken, or he was talking to some people were going to hurt him or whatever, trying to get information out of him for something that he had nothing to do with. And then the Yahawadah basically, long story short, delivered him out of that situation unharmed without anything bad happen. And what happened, and when that stuff happens, it is an impossibility. That's basically what it is. Like, it's not, it defies logic. When stuff like this happens, like, you don't really expect it, and at the end of the day you think, okay, well, why would this happen, or how does this correspond with all the stuff that's going on? How do I tie it in to, like, I don't know what the best term to use, but like, how is it that the Lord allowed me to be delivered? How is it that the Lord allowed me to be delivered from this impossible situation? All right, and that's basically the main gist of it, where, you know, people are put in some trying, difficult situations. All right, sometimes it seems like, oh, well, like this, logic tells me if I want to avoid, you know, getting shot at by some thug or whatever, then I just need to cooperate or something. But maybe sometimes it's just like, you have to say something, you have to do something, you have to whatever, and the Lord puts a spirit on you to do something that might be out of the ordinary, and then for some reason, quote unquote, for some reason, which it's actually Yahawadah and His manipulating things behind the scenes, but as a result of you just having faith and going along with whatever the Lord set up for you, then the Lord makes it so that you are delivered out of that perilous situation and nothing bad happens as a result of it. And that's, again, that goes back into, okay, so this is the Lord's plan, Yahawadah and His plan, and this is how things go. All right, this is how things go in terms of, you know, protection. All right, let me actually get this in Proverbs 3 verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not unto thine own understanding. So there are going to come times when you think, like, well, this is the best thing, this is all logic says I should do this, go to path A, you know, it looks nice, it looks clean, it looks like there's no, let me go through the nice, clean, proper neighborhood rather than the hood and whatnot when you're trying to get home, like, just as an example and whatnot. And then lo and behold, like, as you take let's just say you took the clean neighborhood, well, then now you get some KKK members, I don't know if I can say that, but those types of members that just kidnap you, and then you end up missing, and you something bad happens to you. Long story short, so that's why it's so important, it's so imperative that you that when the Lord is trying to guide you, tell you, inform you of something, or warn you of something, that you actually listen, rather than just saying, like, okay, well, I'm just going to go along with this, I'm just going to do this, I'm going to do that, or whatever. All right, so yeah, this, again, as I said before, because this was something that I just thought, you know, this is a pretty like amazing, this is a pretty amazing example where Simon, he said that it didn't, he said that he literally said that there is nothing, there's no fish there, and I'm not going to get any fish. And then as soon as he listened to Yahawashi, he got an abundance, he got more than what was logical, or what he was able to have. And that's basically the thing with Yahawadah and His, where let's actually get that in Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 2. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken to the voice of the Lord thy power. That's the oh my fucking god, Slakia. Anyway, I'm tripping over my words, but this is a perfect example of that, where the Yahawashi, specifically in this example, had told Simon, do this, put the nets out so you can catch the fish, and then, you know, through the obedience, or quote unquote, from the Deuteronomy 28 verse 2, it says, if thou shalt hearken to the voice of the Lord thy power, if you hearken to the voice of YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, then the previous thing it said was, all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee. So they had way more fish that they knew what to do with. They had way more fish than they could keep and they could have. All right, that's the lesson behind it. All right, where the obedience is what's going to lead you to that abundance. Okay, if you know slacking, and I think I should do this. So give me 1 second. Let's look at what the definition of the word abundance is, because I'm saying it, but I want to get actual the definition. Abundance, a large quantity of something. Is there a better? Okay, here. The state or condition of having a copious quantity of something, plentifulness. All right. Basically, it's a lot. All right. It's a lot. All right. It's not it's not nothing. It's not small. It's just a lot. All right. It's you see the thing, whatever. Anyway, as I was saying, the thing here, I did not know that they had a freaking chart on usage rate, but that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Anyway, next, the thing here is, again, our obedience to YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI is what's going to give us abundance. Now, Proverbs 20 verse 24, man's going of the Lord, how can a man then understand his own way? And that goes also back into, we don't understand, we don't fully know, comprehend, whatever, however you want to call it, the way we do things. All right, we primarily focus on well, we try to focus on our own ways. We try to focus on the stuff around us, but I'm trying to remember this one precept. If you can give me one more, it's like, where is it? It's I know it's in the Apocrypha. It is okay. I'm trying to think. It is Second Esdras. Is it Second Esdras? Understand. It is. Bear with me one moment, because I'm trying. Second Esdras chapter 4 verse. Second Esdras chapter 4 verse 9. So basically the thing here is that well, I will read a bit of it. So let's start. Second Esdras chapter 4 verse 9. Nevertheless, now have I asked thee, but only of the fire and wind, and of the day wherethrough thou hast passed, and of things which thou canst not be separated, and yet canst thou give me no answer to them. He said moreover unto them, thine own things and such as are grown up with thee, canst thou not know. Hold on, is there more? All right, let's start at verse 1. I'm going to jump around. I'm not going to read. Well, let's read the whole thing then. Not the whole thing, but, just the parts that matter. Second Esdras chapter 4, verse 1. And the answer, and the angel that was sent unto me, whose name was Uriel, gave me an answer and said, thy heart hath gone too far into the world, and thinkest thou to comprehend the way of the Most High? Then said I, yea, my Lord. And he answered me and said, I am sent to show thee 3 ways, and to set forth 3 similitudes before thee, whereof if thou canst declare me one, I will show thee also the way that thou desirous to see, and I shall show thee from whence the wicked heart cometh. And I said, and I said, tell on, my Lord. Then said he unto me, go thy way, weigh me the weight of the fire, or measure me the blast of the wind, or call me again the day that is past. So over here, let's slow down a bit. The angel was asking, can you weigh a fire, or like how much does a flame or a fire weigh? Are you able to do that? Are you able to measure how far the distance wind travels? All right. Are you able to? And the last one he was as, call me again the day that is past, or call me again the day that is past, or basically like, what the fuck does that even mean? It was call me again, recall a day. I think is recall a day. Slock. I'm not gonna attempt that, but basically, sometimes now this is the first time I'll admit. There's a little bit of anyway. Continuing on, but you basically get the point. He's asking for some things that are basically impossible to do. Like, how can you tell where wind starts? All right. How can you tell? How can you literally weigh fire? And even when it comes to weighing fire, it's just like, what's it called? Fuck. You can't. It's Slocky. I'm trying to give a proper scientific example, but I'm failing. Anyway, continuing on, verse 6. Then answered I and said, what man is able to do that thou shouldest ask such things of me? And he said unto me, if I should ask thee how great dwellings are in the midst of the sea, or how many springs are in the beginning of the deep, or how many springs are above the firmament, or which the goings of paradise, peradventure thou wouldest say unto me, I never went down into the deep, nor as yet into hell, neither did I ever climb up into heaven. Slakia. Verse 9. Nevertheless, now have I asked thee, but only of the fire and wind, and of the day wherethrough thou hast passed, and of things which thou canst not be separated, and yet canst thou give me no answer to them. He said, moreover unto me, thine own things, and such as are grown up with thee, canst thou not know. Basically what he's saying is that you can't even understand the things that are a part of your world, like fire, the wind, the depths of the sea. So that was basically what he was saying to him. You're asking for things that are outside of your pay grade, outside of your realm of knowledge, but yet you can't even fully understand the things that are in the realm of your knowledge. All right, that's what he was trying. That's what he was trying to say. That's what he was trying to illustrate. That why are you trying to seek wisdom, seek knowledge of stuff that is outside of your thing, which also goes back into the original thing, where over here, rather than attempting to understand how things work or how to understand certain things, all right, we don't need to fully understand stuff. We just really need to be obedient at the end of the day to specifically YAHAWASHI. Now, of course, the Lord does, give us wisdom and knowledge to be able to understand, but the main thing, the primary thing is not falling into the deception of thinking that, okay, well, I'm good enough to do this, or I deserve to know this, or having a big head to think wickedly. All right. But yeah, this was actually I really like this chapter. Definitely go read the rest of this yourself. 2 Ezra chapter 4, beautiful chapter. Matthew chapter 13 verse 31, another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is like a grain of mustard seed. Hold on. Luke chapter 17 verse 6, And the Lord said, if ye had faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye might say unto this sycamine tree, be thou plucked up by the root, and be thou planted in the sea, and it should obey you. And this is the thing here, where through faith you're going to be able to make the impossible possible. All right. So yeah, that not just you, but just the fact that you are, it's going to happen for you. All right. So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH BaHashem, YAHAWASHI BaHashem, Raquah Quadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Abab the Ball, and Shalom.